And
Thank you, man. Chestermcfly, man. Johnny Denacio.
Denicio, but close enough.
Denicio. Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Denicio, you know?
Denicio.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you for having me on live. I was like telling you before when we were in the waiting room. Like I'm surprised, like you, man. You're going back with like Talib Kweli, man. You got like this huge subscriber base, man. You don't want to put that in jeopardy. Like I'm saying, like.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at it like this. Like, I had a whole bunch of weird things happen to me today. I don't know if you saw, like, I got like banned on Instagram and Facebook this morning for like no reason at all.
I saw it. I was like, your page white for a moment. I was like,
Yeah,
what happened? It's like, and stuff and everything. Like I was like, I thought it was weird because I just seen like you went live with Batonio yesterday and stuff and everything. And then I was like, his Instagram was down. I was like, did his page get suspended? And I was gonna ask Batonio about it, but then it came back up. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
So I'll tell you what I did. So what happened was me and Blantonio were just talking about a whole bunch of shit last night. We did a live. We were talking about Talib, and then I posted it online. And then this morning, everything was like, "Oh, you're banned. You're blocked." And I didn't know what to do. I was trying again. I was even trying to make like fake accounts, like different accounts, trying to get in. Nothing was working. And then I went on YouTube and I tried to like share a video, and it let me into Facebook somehow. And then I just hit discard, and I was back in. I just went back into Messenger and then back on Instagram, and it worked. So I don't know if I
oh,
tricked the
okay.
Simpson system or what. It's crazy though.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was strange. I was like, I didn't know what had happened. I was like, that seems like odd. Man, I'm telling you, man, don't mess with like, CIA agents, man. You gotta be careful, man.
Yeah.
Those government, you know, those people in the government, man. We already found out Diddy was a federal informant according to Gene Deal, man. I'm telling you, man.
Believe it. I definitely believe it. You don't have no charges yet.
Like when he was a bodyguard, he used to drive him down to the like I didn't care enough like to look it up, but like he was saying like how like FBI director in New York and
That's
like
crazy.
he had like gotten Rap a Lot, Murder Inc. Like they all got raided.
Yeah. With yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. You see that thing? I was watching this thing where it said that I don't know if you ever like know about Griselda Blanco.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just watching a video. Vlad, he's been interviewing his son, and he interviewed Charles Cosby. Stuff has been pretty good.
Michael Corleone. Yeah, he's cool dude. Shout out to Michael Corleone. But
Yeah,
yo,
man. He was talking about.
but the one chick I was trying to say, like, who helped get Griselda arrested, like, if you watch the movie, the girl, like, who was a friend that turned on her, that girl, they say, is the head of Rock Nation, and like she was a federal informant, and she's the one working with Meek Mill with the prison reform shit. But that's
Oh
why I'm
yeah, like
bringing that
I
up.
know exactly who you're talking about. I didn't know like
Yeah,
that's who that was. Like yeah, like because I've written articles and stuff about her before, about like her being an informant and like Jay Z, like she's really high up in that company. Like her husband and stuff, everything they're affiliated, and they're all informants. You
yeah,
know, and I mean I think that's interesting because it's like Jay Z and stuff. He kind of has this is code of not snitching, and so
yeah. But he's
yeah,
just
that's.
telling stories. I think he's telling like drug dealer stories that he personally knew. I don't think that's ever his stories. I don't think he ever sold anything at all.
I don't know, like what I mean, and stuff. Some people and stuff and everything say he was involved, like he wasn't like probably like a kingpin like he alleges and stuff and everything, like, like the stories and stuff that you hear, where he lost like 99 bricks and stuff and everything, and
Yeah, yeah.
he you know what I mean? Like those are fairy tales. I was gonna interview the guy who used to manage the Clips. We were supposed to do an interview like a couple times and stuff and
I
everything,
bet he
and
knows
he
some
just
shit.
yeah, like and stuff like we're gonna talk about that, but like he just like he kept canceling, and like he's like, oh, like I'm gonna do it, like so after a while, like and stuff, it's just like sometimes when people cancel, I don't I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, when are we gonna do it? But so yeah, man.
No, but today was weird though. Like also then after all that, I had this Talib Kweli account message me, and then like they were video chatting me earlier, and it was a guy from Chile though. It was like some like Spanish dude. It was like the weirdest shit. And somebody's like, maybe somebody's hacking your account. Like maybe you didn't get in trouble at all. Like I just didn't understand what happened today. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, yeah, like I thought that was strange too. It's like, I mean, you gotta be careful, man, online. And then, like, it's like there's a lot of like things that people can do. They can pay people to hack your accounts. Like, if you ever saw like the Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, he got into a beef with someone, and like they paid. Like they've done that, like where it's like pay people and stuff to hack other people's accounts and get their accounts taken down and stuff like that. So it's a tricky game, man.
Yeah, that's wild. Where you at
Yeah,
right
so
now, man? Look, it's beautiful out there.
just chilling, man, walking around. Yeah, just,
Were you in Cali or on the East
no,
Coast?
I'm in Florida.
All right, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I don't look like Cali. Yo, speaking of which, my buddy Armando that I wanted to link you up with. You seen that? He was just he interviewed Sky Bree. You know. Mm. Yo, can you hold on 2 seconds? Oh, my daughter needs help real quick. Hold on 2 seconds. Oh, I got you. Are you good? Great. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Money, you could be doing like all. I had money to own horses.
Yeah, hell yeah. I don't know, but are they happy though? Like, didn't that girl like Jessie Jane like this like take her life, and then like uh
Yeah,
August Ames, like a whole bunch of them I heard like taking their lives and pet like a lot of crazy stuff I heard.
friends with
Mm.
like as far as like with like dealing with like abusive relationships.
Yeah, yeah, everybody recognizes you.
Yeah, it's like so. It's kind of, I mean, it's a double-edged sword and stuff and everything. But like some ways it creates financial dependence. But I don't know. Like I mean, I think she seemed proud of like the adult film work, her at least. But like she was troubled by drug addiction.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
when you have like all of like that excess money and like free time, like because she had an OnlyFans and like she was able to live like time fruitfully, you know, like, you know,
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I went through it. I told you I went through it. I was addicted to opiates and shit. You know, I got myself off.
yeah, I see how it can happen, man. Like, you know, it's drugs and stuff, everything in our society, and a lot of times, like, you
Yeah, shit be
yeah.
crazy, man. But that's what happens to I think a lot of porn stars. I think maybe they addicted to drugs already, and then maybe that pushes them towards the industry so they can get money and shit all the time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure that happens too. Like, you know, it's a, you know, it's a, very, like, you know, complicated industry. Like, a lot of times, like, you know, some of those girls and stuff, they don't have any drug. Eventually, they could be in college. Some of those girls are very bright. They were
Yeah.
like, you know, opportunities, like, you know, to pursue like careers. I interviewed a girl that, like, she got a scholarship to Juilliard, but she like
Oh
tore her
shit.
ACL. Yeah, she was just like, you know, what else could she do? And she ended up doing adult film. And so, you know, there's all kinds of different stories and stuff. I think, like, you know, where this is one girl, she just like converted to Christianity, and like it's an argument of, like, you know, if
Oh, the redhead
the
chick, right? The redhead chick.
yeah, Nala.
Yeah,
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 yeah. I
yeah.
seen that. I seen that.
Yeah, it's like a posting a lot of her on the cast and stuff and everything. She's
Yeah,
a real big
yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah, she's saying, like, you know, like, she just feels like, you know, like a lot of those girls shouldn't be forgiven so easily. Like, you know, there's kind of a grift, in which, like, I can kind of see, like, sometimes and stuff where people, like, you know, they feel like, oh, like they'll do adult film for a while, then after that they'll, like, you know what I'm saying, convert to
Christianity.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah.
That's the issue. They were, but the thing is, she said I heard she was trying to get close to her parents, and she thought that reverting back to Christianity would get her close to her parents, but her parents still don't really want anything to do with her.
Oh wow, like, you know what I mean, so that's unfortunate, you know. I mean, like, I think, like, I love my child, like, regardless, like, you know what I mean, their decisions and stuff, everything. Like, I think, like, you know, that sex is a natural thing. Obviously, you know, like, some people are against it. We live in a society where people are too judgmental
That's the
sometimes.
truth.
And I think you gotta open your mind and stuff and everything. But, like, it's something that somebody does, like, very normally. I can see, like, you know, where it wouldn't be a chosen profession, or it shouldn't be glorified necessarily. But, like, you know, a lot of those girls, man, like, that I interview, man, they're really good people. You know, if they can make money, like, make a lifestyle and stuff, especially if they didn't have a choice, better for them, you know. Like, I try not to judge, but my belief is that I feel like adult film, like, shouldn't be on the internet. I feel like, you know, it would be good for the adult film industry too. Like, we should take that all porn off the internet. If, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, like, we took, like, all adult film off the internet, and, like, you know, then, like,
They
if
would
you
all
go buy,
quit. They probably
huh?
all quit. They wouldn't be able to make money. You know what I mean? You have to go back to
No, no,
magazines and videotapes
no,
and
no,
stuff.
yeah, you would have to go, like, you know, how it used to be back in the day. Go to a store, go to the adult film store, you know,
Yeah.
and then, like, you know, like, you know, as opposed to, like, you know, how it is now, like, you could go to, just go online, man, and it's like, you know, harming children. You see, like, you know, the statistics of, like, you know, people who see these videos, like, you know what I mean, at a young age, like, you know what I mean, sometimes as young as like 11, and like what it does to your brain, and, like, you know, as far as like the oxytocin, you know, the dopamine. So
I still remember like when I was like I watched my first porn when I was like 12 years old with my cousin. I still remember that shit.
yeah, I was young too, man. Like, I was like probably like 12 and stuff and everything. And the first
Yeah.
time I saw, I don't feel like it had like that big of an effect on me. You know, like, where, like, you know, some people and stuff and everything say, like, I didn't get addicted to adult film, but like I know people who did like around that age and stuff and everything, but like it didn't have an effect on me then, but I could see how it could be like addictive to someone, or like you could get addicted to it, like especially like as I became an adult, and it's like
Yeah, I got a friend like that. He didn't. He was addicted to shit. He didn't know how to talk to girls. I was always trying to hook him up, and because of his porn addiction, he couldn't do nothing. It was always weird. I tried to help do it a couple times, but you know,
life is totally different. Even like with adult film, my interactions with them, like and stuff is like like they may be freakier than like the average girl. I mean, they're not going to do
yeah.
in film unless you're paying them, maybe like but you know what I mean. Even then, like it's just like unrealistic. That's not how
Oh
sex
yeah,
is.
yeah.
How it's depicted in film is unrealistic. And I think like it's like sometimes people think like it is it's a realistic version. It's like a lot of girls aren't gonna be down for a lot of stuff that you see in adult film, and it's kind of like uncomfortable. Sex is not real. So,
I heard
and
I was
then
saying
like
I heard of
if you're
something that they said they could possibly put like a thing on the internet where it could see your face, like how you unlock your phone, and if you like underage, it wouldn't let you in or something like that. Would you like be opposed to something like that?
age verification, like like I don't like rejected it. Like I don't know why Pornhub rejected it, but I mean age
That's crazy.
verification seems it's a good idea, but just like if we just took like adult film off the ability to do it, and it's like solve a lot of problems, and like at least like the problem of like children being able to access adult material. It's like that's one thing. Like so, it's like under the point of like being able to keep children away from like adult content, and then like it's not ruining the adult film industry. It's like and it criminalize sex work too.
I agree.
I don't think
I
like
agree.
where yeah, man. Yeah, like we need to be like on Game of Thrones, man. Do the
No,
do the
they do
whore
that in
tax,
They do
so
that in
get
Germany
some
and
tax money.
like in the red light district.
Yeah,
Yeah,
red light
like
district. Yeah. And they get
yeah,
health
yeah,
care and everything. Like you imagine like and like I mean, it's just like in society, it's like for men, it's like incredibly difficult for like men and stuff, everything to have sex with women, compared to like what I mean and stuff like any other era.
yes.
Like like it could improve that and stuff. Everything can't get laid. They're just angry on the internet and like I mean, I think eventually for America, utopia, man. Like what I'm saying, get some new schools built, better education.
Hell
So
yeah. Yes, today like people
yeah,
don't even know how to talk to girls. When I was a kid, I would go out. I remember like the parties, weddings, whatever, and I'd be with my dad, and my dad used to always push me to girls. He'd be like, John, he always pushed me toward a girl, and he would always force me to dance. But I was hold up, yeah, we good, we good, we good, we good. You there? Yeah, I got a phone call.
yeah. Try to talk to women like every talk to women like every day, man. Like what I'm saying, approach women like out when I'm out, like in public and stuff. Like just interacting. It's like I enjoy like being social. I like to go on dates, man. Like social media. I think social media is like ruining. Like a lot of people will say like
Hell
$100,000 isn't a
yeah.
whole lot of money to make a year, but like what I mean and stuff. If you compare that to actual statistics, that's like what I'm saying. You're in the top percentile of people in the United States. You know what I mean? And some people like, girls will say like, "Oh, that's not good enough."
But see, but that's the thing though, like because of social media though, like they don't know how to talk to girls anymore is what I was trying to say. Like my dad made me talk to girls. I always knew how to talk to females, and that's like a gift I had. But like
Yeah,
today, it's like because of social media, I don't think people know how to interact. And then the women put these unrealistic expectations, and then somebody who doesn't know how to talk to girls go along with this bullshit. But if you like me, you can smack that shit out the way. I used to get girls who were rich as hell. What you wouldn't think would talk to me, driving me around
yeah.
when I was younger. I didn't care. It's just I knew how to talk to them. They liked how I talked to them. It's all about game at the end of the day, real shit. And these young guys ain't got it.
It's no 100%. Yeah, like it's um definitely a skill. I like it's something and stuff I practice. I watch like a lot of videos. Like, you know what I mean? It sounds so long ago.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, we just drive around all day, like getting girls' phone numbers and stuff, everything. And like,
hell yeah,
before they, yeah, like before they had those videos, like, now they call people like pickup artists and stuff. But like, I still like, man, I approach women. I love being in Cali because it's like, just meeting like different, it's a whole different vibe of, women,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
approach. So it's like, it's pretty cool.
That's another thing too, though. Like where you at though, like because you be in Cali, like Florida, like a lot of those women are like models or beautiful women coming there to get a modeling job, actress job, or something like that. So they are automatically putting these higher expectations on themselves than like let's
For
say
sure, for
like a
sure.
local chick from Philly. You know what I mean? So that's another thing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no, like no, 100%. Like but like yeah, even in Philadelphia, like some of those girls, like it depends. Like you could meet a girl that's more down to earth and stuff. It's like man, like a lot of times though, like it's a lack of like appreciation or gratitude. Like I saw this video online where it was like this guy, he took this girl out for a carriage, but she was from the Bronx. And she was just like, trying to play the guy because, like, she was like saying, like,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
this is. Did you see that? Did you see it? It went viral like yesterday and stuff or whatever.
No,
But
no, I ain't see it. I gotta peep that.
yeah, it was like he took this girl out like on a tried to take her out on a carriage ride on a date. And like, sometimes and stuff and everything, like, it's like we live in a society where like people don't appreciate effort. They don't want like a lot of girls don't want effort, you know what I mean? And stuff. They just some
Yeah,
do. It really depends, but like you gotta like really vet like, girls and kind of like, like listen to them and like, kind of like read people and when to kind of like try when not to try and like I'm saying I try to match energy so
yeah.
like and more so than anything it's like like read the room it's like as I'm getting older like I'm kind of like getting better at just like reading the room because like like a lot of girls will pretend like they're into you just for the validation sometimes and stuff
Absolutely.
and everything yeah so it's
But
like
that's why I'm kind of an asshole too, though. Like I think you got to be a little bit of an asshole. You know, what I mean, that always worked in my favor. Like if I seen somebody always like trying to like if I was reading the chick right and we were out and then I see her like trying to like have some kind of like seeing how she can control me and shit. That's when I put the asshole. I'm like I ain't dealing with this shit. And then when I act like an asshole, they like you more a lot of times. That's just fucked up about them.
the way I look at it, I put myself first. If a girl really likes me and stuff, everything, like, she's gonna like, share my videos or like, I'm saying, check out my content. Like that's how I know like if a girl's like really into me, like, just be like, oh, like I saw this video or, because like that's what is important to me. So like, if
Yeah,
be involved with that, then it's like, I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I feel you definitely. You got to share some interest and shit.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Cause like a lot of times, like girls are kind of like about themselves, and like I mean, like in LA, man. Like I met this OnlyFans girl, and it was like it was like the vibe was off the beginning, and she was like, acting like, oh, like you know what I mean. She wanted to shoot, like you know what I'm saying, like kind of like me be her OnlyFans boyfriend or whatever in
Oh
the scene,
shit.
whatever. I was like, cool. And like I was like, and stuff and everything, like, oh, like you know what I'm saying, can I put it on my channel? And she's like, she's like, oh, she was like, I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I preached about her money because it was like she of herself.
Wasn't she? You said she's from Philly. Wasn't she from Philly?
She was from like near Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania. I knew
Allegheny
something. Yeah,
County.
yeah, yeah. PA. I knew
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she was dope. Yeah, yep,
That's cool, yo.
yeah.
And I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your Benzino interview.
Oh yeah, yeah, like man, Benzino was cool, man. So like you were telling, asked me like, man, I paid him $1,000, and stuff and everything. I felt like that was a risk because I was like, man, I sent him a contract and stuff and everything. He was cool with the contract, like it was really straightforward. I did it on Rocket Law, like $1,000 and stuff or whatever. I didn't know like if he was gonna actually show up though, because I was like, people
Yeah,
were
yeah,
telling me
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, but
Take
he
your
was solid.
money.
And I booked the podcast studio, like I was talking to you right before the interview, and like I booked it for 2 hours. He came like about a half an hour in. We ended up doing the interview for like about an hour, and so we took a picture, and he was out. He seemed to enjoy himself. He shared it on the post. It was cool, man.
It
You
was
know,
nice too. The place you did the interview at, it looked like a radio station. Like it was real nice.
man, it's hour, you know what I mean, for one single camera and stuff and everything. It's in Atlanta, like it's in South Atlanta and stuff. It's really nice. I've been wanting to use it for a while. There was a couple times like it was artists and stuff I want to interview. I want to do more interviews in Atlanta, but like I haven't been like necessarily getting guests, and then like sometimes the stuff artists don't want money and stuff and everything. Like I won't like if like let's say an artist from Atlanta go tell me like and it's like if I'm in California, it's like I gotta fly to like Atlanta, like figure, but like, out with Benzino where I was able to have like you know the money to travel and then like to be able to pay for the podcast studio and so
What
yeah.
did you talk about the rap Elvis and like did he claim that he wrote it himself and he just had help, or like did you bring that up at all? I was just curious about that.
Oh no, I didn't bring up the Ghost right. I mean, I believe he wrote it. Like I'm sure he had like a little bit of help. Like I believe that he wrote it. Like asked him about that. Like, I mean, I was a fan of Benzino, like, musically, like, like I was telling him and stuff and everything. He has this song I really always enjoyed and stuff and everything. I never felt like, one of the Die Another Day, which is another diss, like, aimed at Eminem. And I thought
Yeah,
that was like
yeah,
a really
yeah,
powerful
yeah,
song. And he
yeah. I remember that,
and
John.
stuff. And I thought the lyrics, yeah, yeah. And he got like pull up kind of gave like Eminem that battle. Like, I don't think like, a lot of times and stuff, everything like Eminem, he's a great MC, but like, battle wise, battling is a different and he can be destroyed, battling. Like, I mean, I feel like there's been people who have destroyed him in battle. I've interviewed
He
few
lost.
people.
That's how he got discovered. You know, he went to the Rap Olympics and lost. You know, a lot of times he was a second. A lot of his competitions, I heard he didn't win. He would get like second place. Like he was just up there a lot, but you know what I mean. He wouldn't win a lot of times. I heard he get second place, but runners up a lot. But that's still pretty good. You know what I mean? You got to be pretty good to get runner up at the Rap Olympics. Like you know what I mean? And I think is things happen for a reason. You know what I mean? Right? You're right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Battle tested MC, the power of the one that and I think it's like, who you favor as a fan, like I feel like sometimes and stuff people kind of like give him like, the win because
Yeah, no, I agree. I listened to his battles even with him and Cannabis. I went back and re-listened to it, and I gotta give
Yeah,
it to Cannabis, man. Like, remember he made that song Cannabis? Oh,
yeah,
Cannabis. Oh, you remember that, John? And then you listen to
yeah,
Cannabis, and
yeah.
I think Cannabis destroyed him. You know what I mean? And I love Eminem.
You know the story too. A lot of times people don't really know like the story of like what actually happened. You know how the Cannabis and
I think they battled each other. I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure.
no, 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 no. So like you know what I mean, it's everything like the on
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
LL
yeah. The
Cool J
track where you
song,
talked about
you know, Cannabis,
the
yeah,
mic.
Cannabis thought so he to the video set, like you know what I'm saying. This is before second round knockout. Like you I mean, this is before 2000 BC was about to come out.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the album
I
he
love
had
that
with
album.
Wyclef Jean, they
That's
were
a
like
dope
filming the
album.
video. And he called him down to the video shoot and he asked Eminem, like, you know, if you wrote it, like, you know, and stuff, everything. Wyclef Jean was there. He had asked him and stuff, everything. He said he didn't write it. Then he went like away. He was like from like Clef. He was like, man, hey, did you wrote it? And Eminem was like, hey, no, I'm a man. If I wrote it, I would have told you I
Yeah,
wrote it. Like you Eminem was like, man, he was like, I'm a fan of you. I love to do a song. And he was like, you gotta get to know me first, B. And he just like left him and walked away.
yeah.
And that's why I kind of like the song Stand. He feels like, you know, by
Oh shit! Oh
himself,
shit!
Eminem was a big fan.
That's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? And stuff, everything. And it was like,
Yeah, yeah,
world. He ended up coming out to like, you know, when was he was like, man, he was like, I apologize and stuff. Eminem's like the big song, and the song eventually became "Fuck You." But declined to do the song or whatever. Maybe we could do something
yeah,
later.
yeah.
And then they were like basically just taking shots on record. Yeah, so it's like it's more of a history to it. It's like layers to it if you understand and like really listen to like some of the stuff you wouldn't understand.
I got you. I thought he battled him at like the Rap Olympics. I thought he was a contestant in the Rap Olympics against Eminem. That's where I got. That's where.
Like at one point, Cannabis was that dude in the underground. Like the way people looked at him, like the album he had with Wyclef Jean. I think it was 2000 BC. It
Yeah, I
flopped.
love that album. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a great album.
It was cool. It was cool. Like I enjoyed that album. I used to listen to it, man. I remember my senior year of high school that
I
came
got it
out,
for
and I was
free at a
listening to that
concert. I
like
got it free at
heavy.
the Rough Riders Cash Money concert. Somebody was just passing them out. And I got it for free.
Okay.
That's how I got it. I thought it was dope. If it's for free, it's for me. Infinite. Infinite, right? The Infinite tape, right?
Man.
What, like Infinite?
No, it had like you know more so like freestyles, like you know like the Infinite album.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that's not like the Eminem Infinite
Yeah,
album.
yeah. That's
No,
what I was saying.
the
No.
album. That's yeah. I'm not a fan of that album. Like that's like you know and stuff everything. Like I like a lot of his early like
Yeah, yeah.
you know trying to sound like an East Coast like AZ and like Nas and voices.
Rock bottom. I just yeah, there you go.
Like those songs and stuff everything like changed Like I like his real songs. I don't like his gimmicky songs. I mean, I like Brain Damage, like off the first
Yeah, yeah. Or
LP,
you like
like
cleaning
the
out my
Marshall Mathers talking
closet?
about. Yeah, yeah, that's a good song. I like song The Way I Am.
That's
It's like a
amazing.
lot of like
That
Eminem
jaunt's
songs, like
amazing. I love that
yeah,
song.
yeah, it's a lot of like Eminem songs and stuff, everything that are like just like spectacular. But like I understand like when people say like they have this argument like, oh, like people didn't listen to Eminem in the hood, but like they did. Like
They
what I mean, I
did.
remember when
They
he first
definitely did.
when when he first dropped, he definitely, maybe not today, like and stuff and everything. I haven't heard Eminem like bumping in the hood like in a long time. But like when we dropped, man, I would hear those records and stuff and everything. But like you know um like records and stuff, everything, I can see why people and stuff. I never felt like a song like My Name Is, like I felt like that was kind of too commercial, like that wasn't
Yeah, that was
really
a little
real.
corny, but I think it was smart because that gave him an introduction to everybody else to listen to his other shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like he
right,
needed a
right,
corny
right.
jump.
Yeah, like and stuff. Like a lot of times, like artists and stuff and everything, they're commercial. Look at Joe Budden's, like Pump It Up. What I mean, I don't
Yeah,
feel like that's a great reflection of him as an artist. Like his first album and stuff and everything was a really good album, and like had like real good content on it. But like people kind of like overshadow like by the single and think like that's the kind of artist
yeah,
he was,
yeah.
but
He's
that's
just a
not
one
true.
hit
I
wonder.
really I really kind of feel like actually like they're very similar. Like what I mean, as far as like thematically, like because like his lyrics is somewhat like because Joe Budden on his first album he had like Calm Down, 10 minutes, records like that. Whoever been through shit in their lives, they sat in the rooms, put on a record
Yeah,
and vibe. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's it.
Yeah, like I mean, stuff like that. So it's like real. Like I think like music that helps people get through like real situations, or you could kind of relate to and stuff and everything. I think those records mean more. I
I
like a
love.
lot of like his this records too, like Girls. He was like, "Why do you act this?"
Yeah,
It's like I think, yeah, he was dissing. He was like, "Some bitches for that. We all know how fucking cowards roll."
yeah, yeah.
It's like, I think like Limp Bizkit and Everlast. Yeah,
He had a problem with him too. Remember, he had a problem with them too. Both of them actually.
yeah. He got a diss record. Girls, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Talib Kweli just had like evidence on I think the People's Party, and I was watching that clip online and stuff and everything. That was a pretty good interview. You know.
Who Talib was coming to Eminem?
No, he interviewed Evidence. He was
Uh,
talking about like what I mean, how like he had gotten to that beef because like he mentions Evidence on that song too, even though it's mostly like aimed at and he talks about how like they eventually squashed the beef and beefing with like one of the like best rappers like in the world, like and stuff. Even like if you respond sometimes, like just like
still a
people
loss.
aren't going to
Yeah, it's
people
still
like
a loss.
yeah, because it's like people were like, oh.
Hmm. Yeah, when you got everybody feeling, you can't. You know what I mean? That's why, like when you got the whole shit with like Jermaine, J. Cole, and fucking Kendrick Lamar, and all of a sudden he's apologizing. Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. You shouldn't have released a diss track if you go apologize the next day after you released the diss track. That makes no sense. I, you there, Ryan? He froze up for a second. There you go. He said hi.
because I think people were kind of like, it was like people were like, oh, like, you know what I mean, response. He could have just let.
Yeah, he was saying it's not him because he was talking a lot of gunplay in that song. Remember, he was talking a lot of gunplay in that song.
To the West Coast, like where it's like, yeah,
That makes sense now. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
what I mean, and stuff like that's a real, you know, so
Yeah, that's what, maybe
if
maybe
you're
he had
out
his
and
life
out,
in jeopardy. Maybe somebody told him like, if you keep making diss tracks, we gonna get you. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna apologize then. You know what I mean? You don't know.
yeah, yeah, you never know, like, you really what goes on behind the scene. Like, Kendrick really is from Compton, and there's
Yeah,
like a lot of people and stuff and everything who are,
they
so
invested in him.
like,
You know what I mean? They want him to
yeah,
do good.
yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah, and that's
so
also
like, I
like
mean,
they
I think,
say, no one knows where the nose goes behind closed doors.
yeah, and like, I mean, it's like J. Cole's, he's like a guy from North Carolina, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, and stuff and everything. It's like, he necessarily isn't built for like that kind of, and like a lot of people don't get into music necessarily, which you shouldn't, like, for the bravado, or like, as far as like the those other activities, like everybody's not kind of like built for like, some of the aggressive street stuff that goes on. So
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
like what you call it? Like somebody was telling me that it's kind of like it's like Snapple. Snapple is like number three when it comes to drinks, like Coke and Pepsi. And Snapple don't mind being number three, but if it's number one, then it's got to deal with all the hate and all the drama, like Drake and like Drake got to deal with all the time. But
right.
if you're number three, like he was, J. Cole, like you in a comfortable spot, just like Snapple. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think like, I mean, the apology and stuff, everything. Like, I think that hurt his. It just put him in a bad position, man. Like, because like now, like a lot of lyricists are kind of like gunning for him for that number three spot.
It definitely did. Yeah, because he probably had everybody egging him on, like, "Go, go, you gotta make it this, da, da," and then he did it, and then all of a sudden, I don't, maybe he got threatened or something, or got to him, and I don't understand. He just apologized.
Yeah, yeah, but like, sometimes and stuff, man, it comes more words, like, like it's just like in rap, like, it's like today, unfortunately, like it seems like it's a consequence where it's like if you make a record like on wax, it could definitely spill into the streets. We've seen it so many times and stuff. So like maybe that was in his mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hip hop, I miss the beef, man. We gotta bring it back. We need more beef in hip hop. I think that's what made it good. That's why I used to get every week or every month the Street Wars albums. You remember them? Like rappers going at each other. We need that again.
And like really like, I'm a fan of J. Cole. I like J. Cole's music. I actually like J. Cole more more than Kendrick. But now, like, I kind of like he made Kendrick look like, you know what I mean, and stuff.
Yeah. Make Kendrick look like untouchable. You know what I mean? Really?
Right, like, yeah, and stuff. But like, I mean, I would like to see this Drake diss track. There's a track online and stuff. They're saying it's AI. like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean, and stuff and everything. They've been saying like that Drake was gonna drop a diss track against like, Kendrick and stuff. So
Sorry, but I had a call. I just denied it. I keep getting calls. You know what I mean? You there? Probably like the same thing just happened to you.
all the calls, dog,
There you go.
was getting like texts and stuff. They were coming through, yeah, and stuff. I think like, yeah, like, man, like, I think like, what I mean, Drake is an incredible artist. Like, I think like, I would like to hear his diss track if he does like, decide to diss, Kendrick. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how he would do it. He probably have to have a ghostwriter. That Quentin Miller had to write that shit out for him. He ain't doing that shit.
So people talk a lot about ghostwriters, and I don't know, man. Like, because it's like I feel like, how would you ever know? You know what I mean? And stuff and everything. It's like,
That's true.
yeah, it's like, it's like if nobody like tells you, if like people aren't open with it, like, it's like,
Now he said in the one track that remember he said Ice Cube writes the words that I say. Remember that track? Yeah, Easy does or something. He's like, yeah, Ice Cube writes the words that I say. I was like, what?
looked at him like, any less of a rapper, or, even though you never considered him like, like nobody's putting him in your top five, but, and stuff. I just like, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of like hard to decipher that, because I'm sure like a lot of people have ghostwriters where it's like a room of people like sitting around just trying to make the song as best as possible, or,
Absolutely.
like, so it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And stuff. It's like, where does that? I mean, the idea is like, everybody like, the way it's kind of like presented is that Kendrick Lamar, like every bar that he's ever spit, he wrote it. He's
Yeah,
never
well,
had,
that's what you never heard that shit. Eminem thought that he had a ghostwriter, and then when they did that song together, what that song
yeah.
was absolute garbage, by the way.
But I
He,
mean,
he made him. He made him write it. He made his whole crew go outside and write it in front of him, so he could see that didn't have a ghostwriter. You ever hear about that?
right? Yeah, I did. I did. I mean, you know, um, that that could be some truth, like, that he. I mean, but that still doesn't mean like he didn't have a ghostwriter. He just has the ability to write. Like, I think there's some people and stuff and everything that, like, you'd probably be surprised, like, what I mean, and stuff, have used like, ghostwriters and stuff just to make better records, or like, try to, it's like you wanna, especially when you get to the top of like the game and stuff and everything, like why wouldn't you utilize every resource that you had? You know?
Absolutely. Dre, you got Eminem writing most of his shit. You know that? Every time Dre got a verse, it's Eminem writing that shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, like, and stuff, like it makes sense and stuff and everything, like, for I don't know, like, what necessarily is the rule, like, as far as like, but I just enjoy it, man. I just enjoy the music, man. If like, and stuff, it's like I don't try to get into like who wrote it, or, if like that information comes out and stuff and everything, maybe like, change my opinion and stuff and everything, that you can't like necessarily give somebody credit of being like a great writer for things that they didn't write, but
That's true. If the music's good though, I'm still gonna, jam it to it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I still listen to Drake. You know what I mean? I listen to Kanye. I don't think Kanye writes a lot of his music. I think Consequence writes all his shit.
So there's a lot of like, really good Drake songs. Like, I I believe Kanye West like writes a lot of his songs. What I mean? I'm sure Consequence probably like, what I mean, like helps out. And you know, like I'm sure he uses writers, like for sure. But like I enjoy like Drake quite a bit. Like he's probably my favorite rapper, man, to be honest and stuff, everything. I think like just like, his ability, like his longevity, and rap, and like, his ability to be able to sing, to rap, like, he has like clever lines, like, and stuff, like, even if like he didn't necessarily write all of them, but like, some of his songs, and like especially like early on. And then I
Hell
remember like,
yeah.
before Drake was like, I mean, I think like he overcame a huge like obstacle of being this rapper from Canada. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and then getting signed, like, you know what I mean, and stuff. Like, I don't think like anybody like really would have been able to predict that or saw that coming. And then like, just
And then
like
I thought he was done when Meek tested him. I thought Meek had him because I'm from Philly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with Meek, and then Meek got
yeah,
cooked. I ain't gonna lie,
I
Meek got
thought that
cooked.
too. Yeah, I was really disappointed with Meek Mill's like response in that battle, and so I thought
Yeah,
like Meek Mill could have done a lot better. Like I felt like, and stuff, it just seemed, I mean, maybe he was going through because he had like, the legal situation over his head at that time
yeah, yeah.
and stuff, everything. But like, I felt like, he was just like, he didn't give his best effort. I was really disappointed. I'm a huge Meek Mill fan, like, from early on and stuff and everything. And like, there was a lot of people kind of like counting him out the way, like, you know what I mean? And stuff like, where it was like, he was more so at one point, no more so for dating Nicki Minaj than anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So,
Nicki's boyfriend. Yeah, that's all people were saying
yeah.
at that one point.
Yeah, like, but he's an incredible artist, man. I thought like, and stuff like he like really had like, like could have been like in a whole different position if like things had went a different way. And like, you know what I mean? Now he's hopping around like a bunny, like, you know what I mean, as far as
Yeah,
like right
yeah. And then like he like Diddy's. It looked like he's Diddy's
where.
boyfriend, man. Allegedly, allegedly. I be rewatching a lot of those old videos. I seen one today where Method Man was saying that Kanye was doing something in the bathroom. And did you see that one? At Puffy Party, he said Kanye was doing something to a guy in the bathroom. He was,
Well, I think like, you know what I mean, and stuff. I think I know what you're referring to, but I
they
think
said
like,
he was
you know what I mean, and stuff
performing
like.
fellatio on the guy in the bathroom. I'll say
I
it
think he
that
was
way.
just saying that for like hyperbole, and like, basically like he was using that to make a point, like, about like, I thought like internet like social responsibility. I don't think like that's a like, like the whole, if you watch the whole interview of that clip, if I
Yeah, no,
recall, because I think
I just seen the clip. You know what I mean?
yeah, like he was just using that as an example of like, how people would take something and run with it, and like, it's like, bro,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause it looked like yo. If you just see the clip the way I seen, it, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like I seen that full interview and stuff, everything, and then the clip started. I was like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
like that's what
crazy.
he's. Yeah, it's just like a clip though. But it is. I mean, like they say like, a lie will go around the world quicker than the truth has a chance to put its before the truth has a chance to put its pants on.
That's
You
true.
know, so it's like
I
I
like
try to
that.
take everything with like a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like you can't believe anything just because you like hear it online or whatever, because like, at the end of the day, like it's,
I don't know, but the whole
unless
thing
you was.
with Diddy being out there though, it's just too many facts and too many artists saying the same kind of thing though. So you gotta like put that in account too. You know what I mean? Like that's why I be hearing shit about Diddy. I'm like, this is crazy, especially like when it's coming from like somebody like Gene Deal. You know what I mean? Or somebody that personally
Yeah,
knows him.
like I mean, like obviously like some of the allegations and stuff, everything I bet are true, but are they criminal? Like, and then like, so like here's the thing too, so they're accusing them of human trafficking. Basically if you fly a girl out, like, you know what I mean, and stuff for the purposes of sex, that's human
Oh
trafficking.
shit! I ain't even
Yeah,
think of
so
it
like,
like that.
yeah. So if you just like, I mean, that's, how common that is in the entertainment
Yeah,
industry
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like, yeah, where it's like, you know what I mean, like really, like it's not really a relationship. I'm flying you out just to have sex with you, like, you know what I mean, and stuff. That's the purpose of like, that's technically human trafficking. Like, it's like a lot of rappers could be charged for that, or like, like, so it's like when you're flying people from different states and stuff, like,
yeah.
it's
That's
a
crazy. Because he said that he was like paying Young Miami like she was a S worker. You know what I mean? That's what they was saying. And they was flying her out, and
yeah.
she's part of it. So that's what I was hearing.
Yeah, like, that's what they're saying. And then Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby mom, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like yeah, but I mean, those are like lawsuits and stuff and everything. And then you take into account like, people who are embittered or like, have an axe to grind and stuff and everything, and they already know like you have these situations and stuff. So like a lot of that is like money grabs, like you know what I mean, and stuff. How much of that stuff is true, or like, like even like with the Cassie situation is like you gotta look at it, man. He was with her for 10 years. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And so it's like a lot of times people just be bitter and like, as far as like the lifestyle. And then like, it's like if like, basically you could kind of like make it make it juicy, you know what I mean? And stuff, things that you couldn't necessarily prove, or like how can you say like after the fact, like, and stuff that you didn't enjoy it or he was making you do these acts and stuff, but you stayed there for 10 years. That's a long time, man.
that's true. They said she's
But like,
working with the feds now. Did you hear that? They say like she's working with the feds.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she could have been manipulated and stuff and everything. Who knows? But like, and stuff and everything. Like, I mean, because there are narcissists and stuff or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. Like, and stuff and everything. Like, I feel like what I'm saying. Like, you would think like somebody like Cassie would have the resources and stuff and everything to get help if she didn't want to like be in a relationship or it was something she didn't want to do. Like, you know what I mean? As far as, but like, you got to look at the power of Diddy. Like, and then like how
Yeah, powerful
manipulating.
dude.
Yeah, so I mean, it's complicated. It's it's a lot of layers to it
What do
and
you
stuff
think's gonna
like
happen to him? You think he gonna get in trouble, or you think he gonna get off? Honestly,
man, like to be honest and stuff, everything. It seems like it's a whole bunch of nothing. Like I think, like what I mean. I think like a year from now and stuff like that. Um, he will, he'll still be free. You know what I mean? During his parties and stuff. And stuff doing like what he was doing.
yeah, I
To be
believe it.
honest and stuff. Yeah, like I don't see like him going to jail like right now and stuff and everything, because of like I felt like if they had charges against him and stuff, he would already like necessarily he he would be in jail, man. Like and stuff. They don't really you know. Have you
Yeah,
ever seen like have you ever heard like somebody and stuff and everything like when's the last time where it was like oh like the feds come and raid your house and you're just walking around free?
yeah. I never heard no shit like that.
Usually like what I'm saying, like as soon as they snatch you up and stuff, you got charges.
Well, they said
So
after they
what I
got
mean.
that guy, was it Keefy D? They said they let him walk for a little bit before they arrested him for the Tupac murder. I heard.
Well, like he also like kept doing interviews, like implicating himself in the murder, like some or anything, like
Yeah, he's
which
dumb for
is
that.
he'll move better in the future, make better decisions and stuff and everything. If he likes to like have sex with men and stuff and everything, he should just be open about that or whatever. But like they're kind of like making it seem like it's like you're like like he's involved with child sex trafficking, he's human trafficking and stuff. Those are some very egregious
Yeah, yeah,
allegations.
yeah, yeah.
And it is like when you look at like what I mean, like what actually occurred, because he was just flying out like what I mean and stuff, different strippers, and stuff. That's not really if that's the case, then there's a whole lot of people that need to be charged for like sex
Absolutely.
trafficking. Yeah, so I don't know.
That's crazy. But we'll see, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm watching. Like I mean, it seems like, a whole lot of forces and stuff and everything have been coming against him, man. I actually wish him well, man. Like, I feel he's an icon in the culture, like, I mean, what he's been able to accomplish and stuff was somebody I always admired. I remember being like, as a kid, like wearing Sean John, like, and stuff and everything when like
Hell
Sean
yeah.
John at first came out, like in high school, that was like a big thing. Like, I always admired Diddy just like as a businessman, like what he was able to accomplish and stuff. So it's like I kind of see his downfall, not necessarily like I didn't always like love his music back then. It was a lot better,
Hell yeah.
especially but and stuff like from what he went to, but like some of his songs, Public Enemy #1, he really is, he's
Yeah.
living his lyrics in real time. So I mean,
Yeah, like the
I hope,
Biggie video. Remember when they was running from like it looked like the feds on the boat and shit? That's what they
yeah,
say is
yeah.
happening right now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and so that's what I would do, man. If I had money like that, I would just go live in a country that's like non-extraditable. I'd be like, you know what I mean, chilling, like, you know what I mean, in some country and stuff where they can't extradite me, living good, like Russell Simmons, you know, unextraditable. Like he got the means, and I wouldn't play with these people and stuff. Like, come, come get me from, you
Yeah,
know.
I think yeah, he got money, man. Like when you got money like that, that's how OJ got off. You got the best lawyers in the world, you know. It's hard to
Yeah, like
convict.
definitely. Yeah, like I mean, and then like though, like I think it's though really unfair though, like how people can bring those stuff that happened like a decade ago with no real like evidence. It's like
Yeah, that's kind
it's
of
just like
bullshit.
testimony. Yeah, like you know what I mean. It's like people and stuff and everything. It just seems like that's how I mean they got R. Kelly in jail. You know what I mean and stuff and everything. It's because of the sex trafficking. That's what he's in jail
And
for.
that I think that documentary got him locked up. You know what I
Oh
mean? They
yeah,
made
public perception. Yeah, public perception of like people and stuff and everything when the tide like turns against you and like
uh,
they're saying like people they're gonna come after Jay Z next,
yeah,
because like
yeah,
he's
yeah. I
like
heard that, and they say
yeah,
Beyonce is worse than him. They were saying people were saying.
they're wow, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, like unfortunate, but I mean, I think everybody has to be held accountable for like what they do in this life. So
Absolutely. That's why all we can do is just be better people ourselves at the end of the day.
yeah, everybody like what I'm saying makes mistakes, man. Like and stuff. It's just like, but like I also know how this criminal justice system is, man. Like where it's like they take a whole, what I mean, and stuff and everything, like try to twist it and make it seem like you did something, and, like nothing like actually happened, or I've been in court, like so it's like I
Yeah, they
don't
try
know.
to ruin my life for weed. You know what I mean? Because it helped me with my stomach, and now I'm prescribed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just crazy to me. Like that's my
Yeah,
life now.
yeah, like I mean, I don't trust the criminal justice system. It's like, and then it's like you kind of rely on it for people to get justice because like a lot of times people and stuff and everything, I don't, like KRS, his famous line is like, how can there ever be justice on stolen land? What I
Mm.
mean, that always like rang true to me. Is like I don't really think like, the criminal justice system is the place like, what I mean, and stuff like we can go for justice. But like and stuff sometimes and stuff and everything, maybe like people have gotten justice from that. I think it's weird, like sometimes to see like people in hip hop like championing like when people get arrested or face like legal obstacles or as kind
Yeah,
of weird.
50 Cent all about. Yeah, 50 Cent all about trying to get Diddy locked up, which is crazy though. And they say that's because of the baby mama thing. Maybe that's the reason why it's happening.
Maybe so, like I mean and stuff. I mean, I think he's just joking and stuff and everything, like more so like he seems like a jokester, like where it's like like he's a troll where like he's kind of like just like antagonizing people. Like that's kind of how I look at him. But he's hilarious. Some of his like hilarious.
Yeah, I remember he was saying to one John, he said, the fuck did he say? He was trying to fight that dude Stevie J the other day. You see that shit where
Oh
Stevie
yeah,
J was trying to fight with him and shit because he was saying that that's his lover, and then he was saying Curtis, and then he was like
yeah,
trying to, oh come on Stevie J.
yeah, man. Yeah, Stevie J and stuff like that would be like what I mean, interesting and stuff. I mean I think like a lot of that is just like for theatrics and stuff like but yeah, I enjoy 50 Cent's posts like whenever I see him online. Stevie J though, like he's pretty funny too. Like he's like comical guys.
I just look at it like it's entertainment at the end of the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. It all is like I mean to an extent, but like then sometimes people's egos and stuff or whatever people really be really upset or like it's like I mean like the Talib Kweli situation and stuff and everything like it like it turned into like just like a simple like what I mean and stuff like I like what I mean and stuff like so like when I originally started like arguing with him it was just like over like what I mean a disagreement about like politics. It wasn't
Yeah.
like like it was
How
like
did you
something he
become a
posted.
Nazi to him? That's what I want to know. How did Ryan Glover become a fucking Nazi, yo?
So, like basically, like I was pointing, he was saying like the people who founded Turning Point USA were Nazis, and I was saying like, I mean, I just don't think that that's accurate. Like you know what I mean and stuff. I think that's a I didn't view them as Nazis. Like I mean, I could see how like you wouldn't agree with like their politics or like what they
Yeah,
believe and stuff and everything, but like I feel like this I took issue with like you know what I mean him like describing them as Nazis, which like I just didn't think like, you know what I mean, and stuff and everything. They seemed like they were Nazis, like, to me from my perspective. And like,
yeah,
it's like I feel like, you know what I mean? I felt like he was being irresponsible of the way he used that term. And like I
yeah.
wasn't
No, I
familiar
agree.
with like, he calls anybody that disagrees with him ideologically a Nazi. So like I became a Nazi for like, calling him out for calling other people Nazis, basically. It was like
Yeah,
amongst yeah.
yeah, he's calling me a Nazi. I'm half Jewish, and then he's like, "Oh, well, there was this one Jewish Nazi." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's so crazy. And they
Yeah,
just
like he,
posted on Wikipedia. You see, I posted up. I found the original video I put up on my Facebook. How me and Talib got in a fight. It's like the original video. It shows like what he said to me and shit.
oh wow, no, I haven't
It,
never
it,
seen it.
it was
Yeah, I
over a
remember.
Joe Rogan post. It was over Joe Rogan.
Oh, what was the Joe Rogan post?
He was calling Joe Rogan a racist, and I said, "Well, isn't that a little bit hypocritical? Because you have done racist and things yourself. How you gonna call somebody else a racist when he's apologized and you don't apologize and you still act like this?" And then he said, "I
Yeah, like
can't comment on a black man's page. It's a black man's space." I said, "You don't own Instagram."
yeah, like yeah, so like I mean pretty much similar the same thing like when you call out his hypocrisy and stuff it's like you're a Nazi. And like, it kept escalating like, you know what I mean? And it like ended up he like his trolls, like, his fans and stuff and everything started getting into it and then pulling up pictures and you know, it's like yeah, man.
Now I'm worried. Now we had this conversation. I'm worried my Facebook gonna get taken down again.
I hope not, man. Like, and stuff
Yeah,
like
me too. That was crazy though.
yeah, like you know what I'm saying? We'll both like have like, all white pages be like I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I imagine he just sits back and laughs too, like you know what I mean, and stuff and everything. Like he's probably gotten a lot of people's accounts suspended and over the years and stuff. But now like because he's not on Twitter and Instagram, like as far as I know, like and so been
No,
really peaceful.
he's got an account connected to Twitter. I've seen that's like a music group and it's connected to him. So I think he
Oh
has
yeah.
access to Twitter that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I haven't been, I haven't heard from him, man, like, and stuff or whatever, like he was harassing me, like, you know what I mean, to the point where I left him alone. And like let's say I do interviews and then he like, tagged the people in the interviews, like, oh, like, he's anti-black and stuff or whatever. Like I mean, he messed up a lot of interviews, man. I was gonna interview him like I think I would have it was a couple people I would have interviewed, man. I think like he had kind of like messed up those interviews and stuff and everything. So like I was like that guy. That
When it
guy.
happened, it was like welcome to. I felt like I was a part of a club because I see what happened to you, and then Blantonio
Yeah.
told me what happened to him, and it's like that's how I think I was able to get to this point on YouTube. Was if I didn't have that fight with Talib, I wouldn't have met you, Blantonio, the Hood Smokers, and changed my name to Chestermcfly on my YouTube, and then I think it took me to this direction.
Yeah, man. I like I try to like look at everything as a good thing, as a lesson. Like it definitely I felt good because like what I mean, I met people and stuff and everything who I really consider like my friends. I consider you guys like friends and like very supportive and encouraging. And then like, it gets people out of like your
100%.
way who like necessarily weren't like, riding for you. Cause it was like I saw like a lot of people and stuff and everything who were like kind of like just because they were fans of his that I knew, like, in real life
Yeah.
and stuff, everything, like, like, kind of like they were siding with him. And like, I was like, what I mean? And stuff. It's like, it felt like, why would you side with him and like, like what he's doing, or whatever, or like, what I mean? He's kind of like lying about me. So,
That's why I fought back because I thought this man is famous. He gonna ruin my reputation. People gonna believe the celebrity over me. So that's why I just
yeah,
kept coming at him, man. I was like, "Fuck this dude."
yeah. I was like, I was going at him, but like, I mean? After a while, like, I was just like, I really tried to like, you know what I mean, and stuff like, I think like maybe like he's just petty, or like, I think like, when Mara Romani came out with the video saying she pegged him and stuff and everything, that really
Oh,
was what got him. Cause like,
I
so like he was like basically saying, he was like, oh, he was like, you're broke, you're homeless, you don't have any women.
mhm.
And then like it was like I did that, like, you know what I mean? And so that was like hilarious. He was so mad and he posted that, and like, she ended up losing her account. And it was
That's crazy.
so
You lost your account for that? Yeah, because they
yeah,
be snitching on
well,
everybody.
like for arguing with like his fans and stuff and everything, like, which I was telling her about, like, that's what you gotta kind of really watch, because they try to get you upset to kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
say
yeah.
something and stuff and everything, and then they'll report it. Even if like, they'll report anything you say. And then like, after a while, sometimes like, Instagram will just make a mistake because your report your account's getting reported so many times.
Yeah, so happened to me
It's
today, I think.
yeah, where it's not even like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's like, oh, like you can't post for like 24 hours or whatever. It was like I haven't even posted anything.
Exactly. It could
So
be like an old comment. I think that's what I think's been happening to me. I think a lot of my older comments that I said to him or people that I've been fighting with get reported recently, and then I get in trouble recently for something I did like months ago.
yeah, but like I was like, man, I definitely lost, like, you know what I mean? Cause like, so when at the height of it for me, I was actually like at the SAG strike. And so like I was like around like a lot of people in like Hollywood and stuff and everything. And like with, I thought like maybe we could do interviews in the future. Like one of them was like Amanda Weiss or whatever. And like, she had followed me on Instagram, and like I had a video of her out at the SAG strike, and I was hoping like to do an interview with her in the future. And like, he was tagging her in it, saying like I'm
Hmm.
anti-black. And I think like, sometimes and stuff like when
Yeah.
people do that, yeah, like, it's like it's really scary. Like actors, I think, are very scary about like, their career and just who they align themselves with and stuff and everything. And he's kind of trying to portray me as like, like I'm Anthony Brian Logan or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was doing that shit to me. And there was a guy that I had a connection with from New York with this rapper named Big H. And he was saying shit to him, and I haven't talked to him since then. And it kind of like ruined my connection with him and like people I knew. I'm like, the nigga I believe Talib over me. That's why I fought back. I'm like, fuck this dude. He's a liar. I'm gonna prove he's a liar.
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah, it did. Like for a while, like I couldn't get any hip hop interviews, man. Like, it was a lot of people and stuff. I think like going on the People's Party, who I had interviewed. I don't know if he was having them on there. Like it seemed like it was just like he was just taking people off my page, or maybe people who were aligned with him to say like, oh, like we rock with him. So I mean, like, it's just good though, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, not to have like those fake people. I lost a publicist relationship. I've been working with this publicist for like almost like 6 or 7 years, and like I guess he had tried to they tried to come at me like, I used to have this video. I interviewed this girl named Sarah Lace. She's an adult film star, but I had a clip and stuff, everything, and she's like basically in like some lingerie, like on the page. She was like taking off her shirt and stuff. And like I interviewed, I went to a red carpet event at the Little Miss African American pageant in LA. And like basically like I interviewed like a number of different like, celebrities that were there. And like, the publicist contacted me and said that the owner of the publicist asked me to remove that from my page. I don't have none of those interviews up on my page like today, but like, he was
Why?
just basically, well, like, you know what I mean, and stuff. So he could go, because it was making him look stupid to call me anti-black, and I just went to, like, you know what I mean. I got a videographer out of my own money to cover this event that, like, you know what I mean, a lot of like large media outlets aren't covering. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm there, like, interviewing, like, and I'm interviewing adults like Erica Campbell, the Grammy Award winning gospel singer. Erica Gimple, she's a very like well known actress. Like, you know what I mean, just people in the black community. One of the people who, like, had designed like the Black Barbie. All these, like, incredible people in the black community. Like I'm talking about, like, the Little Miss African American pageant. And like he was saying like I'm a groomer, and like, this is like, so she asked me to take off like the interview with Sarah Lace from my page or whatever because it didn't reflect. And I was like, I told her no. And so she got really upset when I said no. But like, I think he was like pushing her to do that. And then she like ended up taking sides with Talib Kweli. Like it was just a plot.
That's
Like,
fucked up.
kind of like what LL.
Yeah.
It was like, you got to change your verse. It was like, you do something like that to me. It was like behind the scenes and stuff where people like aren't really noticing what was going on. But I refused. I was like, no. And so like when I didn't go for it and stuff and everything, then it was like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And stuff, we're working together now. So, you
I
know.
think people are starting to see that. I think a lot of people look at him, especially the Consequence interviews going viral. A lot of people watching them. When he had Jaguar Wright on his Instagram live, and they were talking about Talib. Like the more people I think are aware. That's why he's banned on all platforms. So people are like figuring out this guy's a racist troll that only knows how to play the victim. I think at the end of the day, that's how I see him.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, I think like, he's just, I really respect his opinion on music and like his contribution to hip hop, like but like I feel like also like his social media, like his usage is irresponsible. I think like when you argue with people, when you just try to malign the character and like try to like actually hurt like people like financially, as far as like he was like he is making calls, so like I wouldn't be able to go up to Dash Radio to be able to promote my book. I got a book like I and like it was like
That's
it's
crazy.
like yeah, who does that? Like, what I mean? And stuff and everything. Like, you got like all this time in the day, and you're like basically like, I was a co-host for there, and like, you're not welcome in the building, like, what I mean, anywhere here. And like, it was like, he got the guy from all hip hop, like, to kind of disparage my platform. It was like just all of this, for like because I disagreed with you or so I mean he went through a lot, but like it made me stronger. I'm still here. I'm still like, making content and stuff. And it didn't stop anything.
Hey
I
Tegan.
think like it's like so I think like, you would think like, people at the top would be very secure in their positions, but like it seems like, that like, once people get those positions and stuff, it's like they're insecure because it's like they feel like, that they could lose them. You know what I mean? It's all it takes is one misstep. All it takes is like people to really expose like what's really going on behind the scenes and you know, eventually like you know what I mean and stuff and everything like that, he's gonna have to give up that spot. So
I just think that he came up at a time when conscious hip hop was kind of big because of the Chappelle show, and he was around Kanye West when Kanye West was coming up, and people look at Talib bigger than he is. So did I, because like I said, most people can't even name 5 of his songs. You know what I mean? If he's that much of an inspirational artist, name 5 of his songs. You can go up to famous rappers and ask them, and they're going to have to look on Google. They can't think of it off the top because he's not that influential. People think he is, but I don't think he really is. I think he's more just talking more. You know what I mean? Like his
no,
podcast and
like
shit.
for real, like to be honest and stuff and everything, like when you said that and stuff and everything, I was like, wow, like I would say like Get By, the song he did with Kanye West, like
Keep
I
him
don't know the
high.
title to
Keep
it,
him high. Keep him
huh?
high.
Yeah, Keep
Keep
Him
him.
High. Yeah, and like
Get him high. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be able to name like 3 other songs. I could tell you like videos and stuff, everything I've seen or
See what I
you
mean?
know, yeah, like
I know
you know,
the Liberation 2, maybe the name of those and then Black Eyed Peas song. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, like I've seen like the one video where he's twerking on
Yo,
Santa Claus.
was that really him? We were just talking about that last night. Is that really him? And I didn't see the video. I
That
seen a
was,
clip on his Instagram. I never saw the video.
I don't know, like I mean, and stuff, everything. If that was actually him in the video or not, and stuff. I mean, it would be a good question and stuff. Like, I asked him about it and stuff, and everything on Instagram. He never responded. You know, but when he was on IG and stuff, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would
yeah, man.
respond a lot of times though, so that was kind of cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, like I appreciated like our real movements and stuff, and everything. Like to be honest and stuff or whatever. Like I didn't have like no animosity or animus towards him and stuff. It was just that to other people. Is like he's kind of like, I guess of the idea you're just supposed to take that or not say anything or like, but like, people, I guess like, what I mean, when you fight back, but like, I mean, it's not something I deal with, like, what I mean, and stuff like today, like, and stuff and everything. Like, I think like that,
Well,
hopefully, like,
I try to explain to him too that like he thinks everything was black and white. He always try to make everything black or white, and it's not like that. A lot of black people have Caucasian DNA. Italians have part black DNA and Arab DNA. Like most people are gray. It's just different shades. It's not like the book, but I'm serious. That's how I look at it, and that's how you got to look at it, or else to live together, or otherwise you go look at everything black and white. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, it's strange, man. Like, because in the U.S. and stuff and everything, like, it's like race is just like such a social construct. Like
Absolutely.
whereas like in other countries and stuff and everything, they'll probably look at it totally different or whatever. Like, and then there's so many, like there's people and stuff who might be the same skin complexion as me, where they won't consider themselves black. They'll be like, I'm Panamanian or whatever,
Yeah.
or it's like I'm like and stuff like some
Dominican,
other
Dominican,
yeah yeah
Dominican.
yeah.
I
So
see. I used to cut this guy's hair. He would say that to me. He's like, "I'm Dominican. I'm not black." I'm like, "You'd
yeah
always do
so
that."
yeah, like I mean, like I think like you know I I'm for like, what I mean, just treating everybody right. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody obviously should be treated like, differently before because of their skin color or like, anybody like, what I mean. But like we live in an imperfect world, so those things are going to happen like regardless. And like, there's like, definitely a history of like, black people being mistreated in this country. Like there's a history
Absolutely.
of Jews being mistreated, what I mean? So it's like we gotta look at all of that. It's like I just like, I'm inclusive. Like I'm not gonna exclude anybody because of their color or like, assume anything about somebody just because like, they're a different color than me. Like, I think like, it's really about like how you interact with people or like, your experiences, how people treat you. So
Yeah, I agree. It's on your character. If you're a good
yeah,
person,
yeah,
I don't give a shit who you are, what color you are. If you're a good person, you cool. If
yeah,
you know what I mean, it could be
yeah.
somebody look exactly like me and be the biggest asshole in the world. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it that way.
I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, maybe soon we'll be like I mean, chilling with Michael Rubin, like in his parties, hopping around like bunnies. I don't know,
I mean, I told he owns the Sixers, man. So I would love to go to one of his parties, but scared after I saw that.
Yeah, man. I was telling you, I think in like 161 days is the next card show in Philadelphia. I was gonna try to come and stuff, everything. It's great, man. Like a lot of like really good guests. The
Oh
last time
yeah,
I
I used
was
to always
there,
go to car show.
yeah, the last time I was there, like Michael Vick was there. Like Michael Rubin sometimes goes, like Meek Mill's like first manager. There's like a lot of like pretty influential people that are in the car space and like in West LA they have like it was really cool. They had this spot called Bleakers, and like they'd have like different athletes come do sciences in Santa Monica. And like, it was like it's real cool. Like, the people who were involved, like Michael Rubin and stuff, he was like up there like one day and just chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, just like the card space and like collectibles and stuff or whatever. It's like a cool way to make money. A lot of people and stuff are making a lot of money doing that, like, selling cards for like $20,000 and stuff. And like if you're into sports too, man, it's a good space to be in. Like they got influencers too, it's like I've interviewed like one influencer, Dr. Collectible, which was cool, which was like it was like, but it's like it's a cool vibe, man. Like, what I mean? If I end up going, man, I'll let you know and stuff. And I'd love for you to go with me, man, and hang out.
Yeah, if you came to, I would definitely go. If you came to Philadelphia, I would show you around the town. I would take you to all
Yeah, for
kinds of
sure,
places.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I want to go to the Exotica in Edison, New Jersey too. That's like, what I mean, and stuff like my next. I know so many like adult film stars and stuff, so it's like interviews and stuff will be like crazy because it's like a lot of those girls and stuff they get like so many views because like some of them have millions of followers, man. It's like
Yeah,
crazy, like yeah, like I just interviewed the girl like Texas Patty and stuff and everything. Like he got 7,000 views on Instagram and stuff and everything. She got 1 million followers. You know what I mean? It's just like super easy. So
I took your like what you were doing. I started talking to this girl called Indiana Mommy or Indiana Milf. She's like
okay.
pretty famous on TikTok. I
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know exactly who she is.
I,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
I knew you would know. I knew you would know who
yeah.
she is. Yeah, yeah. So I hit her up and I told her like that I got monetized and I'm connected to Hood Smokers. I was trying to see if I can get her for an interview and I'm just waiting to hear back from her. She hit me back though.
Nice, nice, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen her before. Yeah, she's attractive. Like, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, man. Like, I like, I like interviewing, like, them just like sometimes it's like it's interesting interviews, like interesting content. And like especially like, we have like interesting conversation. I interviewed this girl like Tony Rose, who's like a published model, and like, man, I thought it was a really good interview. She's a really attractive girl, but like, she was telling me about like when she first started modeling and like, like this photographer and stuff. She got a job on Craigslist and like basically how like he tried to get her to perform oral sex on, on her. Like this is her
Mm.
first modeling job and stuff and everything. But like she just it's crazy, man. Like candid candid stories and stuff. Like um
He probably did
yeah,
some
like
crazy shit talking to them girls.
yeah. Sometimes you do. Like I mean, there's one girl. She basically like admitted to being like a victim of human trafficking because she was like working as a strip club underage and stuff or whatever, and like basically like like this adult film star ended up flying her to another state, and like it was like then like she got like stories like with different rappers and like like it's all I heard a lot of stuff, man. Like when girls get candid and stuff and everything, and like just really open and you know, I've like I've had I've done a couple interviews like in person and stuff and everything like where the girls like just broke down, started crying like at the end.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was like yeah, yeah. So it's wild, like yeah.
I mean, you gotta keep up the good work. I like your interviews, man. That's why I keep trying to promote you, even on my channel. I think I sent you a shout out the other day on here.
Yeah, yeah, man. I appreciate you always have encouraged me, man. Like, I think like, to keep going because it's like, you gotta be like a community to support each other because like, like creating content and stuff, sometimes this it's just like like, oh, like, are people going to like look at your content like or support it and like sometimes and stuff. So it's like it's nice, like, man, you were the one who like encouraged me, man, keep doing interviews and stuff. And like I've been like, just like going a little bit harder, man. I was like, man, like, I appreciate it. Like, he sees it and stuff, everything. So it's like, it makes you like, like, hey, like, what I'm saying, I'm gonna put in like, effort to continue doing it because like, sometimes it'll be like, I could do something else, like, what I mean, with my time. Is it worth it? Or, because I dedicate like a lot of man hours, to it sometimes, it's like
Hell
waiting
yeah.
around, it's like waiting around or, you know, people like will cancel or stuff like so it's like oh like you got to realize like why you do it and like if it's something you want to continue because like I was like it's not for the faint of heart. Like I think like a lot of times like people just see like the finished product and stuff but they don't like necessarily see like all you went through to be able to do it or get it or so
100%. That's why, like I was saying, like with that dude Armando, he'd be taking pictures of he's out there always getting like famous people like TMZ style. I was thinking if he had like a business card of yours and you were out together, he could hand them out like for interviews, like, yo, it's my man, he does interviews, whatever, like when he catches them.
yeah I
And then you
love
guys could like work as a team. I could see that happening. I don't know, something in my head's telling me, like, I don't know. I just get vibes
yeah, as soon as I
sometimes,
get back to LA, I'm a man, like hit him up and stuff and everything. Like I love collaborating with people and just like to get like some insight and stuff, like learning from people too, because it's like how they approach things or whatever. Because it's like yeah, I was really impressed like looking at all the celebrities and stuff he had on his page and stuff. Like I was like, yeah, it's cool. But
he stay outside.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I kind of and stuff. I've been focusing on like more like street content, but I was like maybe I need to leave that alone because like I
No,
was
I
like
like that. I like some of it. I seen that fight that happened the one day. That guy acting crazy. I like those videos. I really like
yeah,
those videos.
yeah. Those videos get like like a lot of views. I can only post them on Instagram and stuff
Mm.
like, 'cause like they'll get flagged on TikTok and YouTube, but like, and stuff like they really get like views and like, there's interest. Like, I could post some of the street content, but it just can't be graphic. It can't really nothing can really happen in the video.
Yeah,
You know what I
like
mean? Stuff
fighting
like
or to
like
put yeah.
yeah, on TikTok and stuff, but yeah, like I like one time and stuff like I posted like this undercover cop and stuff and everything on TikTok and stuff and everything, and that got like a bunch of views and stuff. People arguing whether he was an undercover cop or he
Oh, is he
wasn't.
like smoking? Was he like smoking crack or something?
No, he was like he looked real neat. It was like this blonde haired guy, but it was like a needle by him and stuff and everything or whatever. I think like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah,
it's
no, that's what they be doing. They be like acting like they doing drugs on the L around here too, and they like cops
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and stuff. But I had that video and stuff and everything, and that went crazy on TikTok. I was like, I got another video of like this girl, like, where she's like, she missed her flight because her grandmother just died and she was going off and stuff and everything. Like, and that's my biggest video on TikTok. It got like 500,000 views and stuff. So stuff like that, like, but that takes a lot of time because it's like you never know when stuff is gonna happen. Like, but I feel like in
Absolutely.
LA, like crazy stuff like happens like so often. Um, I wouldn't do videos and stuff like that in Chicago because I don't know how long I would live. I feel like in LA, just I feel a little bit more safer to do it, even though there is like a sense of danger, like people will want to fight you or, but they won't shoot you. In Chicago,
Yeah.
I feel like in Chicago, you pull out a camera at the wrong time, it's like somebody.
Yeah, it's like Philly too, like in that place, Kensington. I think I've showed you or told you about that place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that place like is like the biggest open drug market in the North America, like in all of North America. And
Wow.
they say that if you go down there with cameras, people film from cars and like on the L and shit. But if you're down, they'll kill you, man. Like, or they'll because like they don't want to be caught selling shit. You know what I mean? That's what they doing down there.
Yeah, like no, I believe that. Yeah, like yeah. Like I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, sometimes people get upset, like not so much about the drug overdoses. I feel like but like yeah, like I filmed this one guy. He had knocked out the girl like cold. She's like laid out and like I mean and stuff and everything. He ended up like
Hey,
chasing
yeah,
me and
John.
stuff with and that video was like so. But yeah,
But I don't know, yo. Like, this interview went on for like an hour and a half, yo. I think we did pretty
yeah,
good, you
man,
know.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, anytime, man. You want to go live, man? I'm here.
Hell yeah, because I want to keep putting traffic towards your page. I want to help your YouTube grow. You know what I mean? I just want to have a community, like you said. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
do.
man. Like what I'm saying, we support each other and stuff and everything and win and stuff. And I'm gonna like when I go to Philly, man, like I'll let you know that date of the car show and stuff. And like what I'm saying, let's kick it, man. If you want to go up
Hell
to
yeah,
the Exotica too in Edison, man, like what I'm saying, join me, man. Like, this would be a great time, bro.
hell yeah, I'm down. I gotta talk it over with my girl, but
Yeah.
I'll be down.
For sure, for sure. Definitely, man. I'll holler at you.
All right, so yeah, good talk, Ryan.
You too, Chester.
All right, peace
The
out.
Nacio.
That was a good interview. Definitely subscribe to Ryan's channel, and thank you guys for watching.